Good afternoon. It is just coming up to 2 PM Eastern time, and I'm just going to recap my trading for today. Pretty much done. My trading was done by about 11 AM today. Decent green day. Pretty decent green day actually. Didn't stick to my plan originally, but I did use order flow to find a top. Watching the pre-market high, that was going to be a break and a retest into the pre-market high, which was also the current high of the day when the market opened. But instead of me going long, I noticed a bit of weakness. I was using order flow, and if I flick my screen over to my order flow, okay, on my screen is the order flow. So what I was watching was my order flow chart. And we're coming up to 9:30, this area here. So we had the open candle. So we had the opening candle here at 9:30. And then, even though it broke out over, I saw quite a few, up here was a few areas of absorption where we saw massive orders coming into the market. This is at 9:50, 15 minutes later. I just noticed it there as well, just there. And obviously we got area here as well, so lots of big buyers and sellers. And then we came into here. This is where I got my entry, really, around that area. In fact, I went with the pre-market. I did try a little bit of a scalp. I saw this area here and I thought we were going to get a bit of rejection, but it didn't. It stopped me out, and I went long again and I stopped out again up here. But then I was just trying to, I had really tight stops, and I was just trying to find that reversal candle, and eventually as soon as I saw these big numbers come in, was it 2,000 orders, all around 51.22, and then I saw it repeat on this candle as well, 1200 and 1300, and we had few sellers up here. We only had 17, 72, had a few more here, but it could have been limit orders as well being triggered, and then we saw it sell off. So my entry was probably around this area here. It was just at 51.22 area. I went long, and my first out was on this breakdown here, which was at, what time was that? About 10 o'clock. Yeah, exactly 10 o'clock. And then I held. My next out was down here when we saw all this volume come in, and that looked like limit orders triggering, so I went long at that point. And my next out I held as well, and purely I held because we had this area here. Let me just remove that. I held because we had this area along here, around 51.18, and you see all these yellow nodes. That's telling me where the highest amount of volume has been traded in this area, and again that's absorption. So I moved my stop to just above that area there, which was 51.19, and you see my stop never triggered, and I eventually got out at the low of the day, and that's what let me hold it. My out was on this candle here, so I waited for the bottom. It pulled back, and I got out because it was just before the pre-market low, although I should have waited for pre-market low. That's the limit orders coming in. Here we go. So you can see the limit orders coming in right at the pre-market low. There's 1,000 orders there. So that should have been my out in this candle, not this candle. But pretty much there, nailed the top, nailed the bottom almost. Let's flick back over to my main screen. I'll show you. And basically that's using order flow and level 2. I use volume analysis as well. While I was holding on to this trade down here, it pulled back a bit up here. Was it around about 10:35 on you can see the volume though was declining, and if you look at the 2 minute, the 2 minutes over this side, I don't trade the 2 minute, but I use it as reference. We had declining volume just here, declining as the price was rising, and so that's what let me held, and my stop was over that bar 51.20, and my out was pretty much there. So I took, first out was just over the VWAP, next one was on the 200 moving average, and the next one was, well, I got out at 51. I was aiming for 5100 because it's a psychological round number as well. That's what I was looking for. But when it went through, as soon as it came back up to that area, that's when I got out. So overall, a decent day. Trading mainly on the order flow chart. My levels today, I'll just quickly open up my trading view. In fact, I won't need to. I talked about doing a break and retest of the pre-market high. You could have got a scalp in there, but it probably wouldn't have worked for me because I like to hold. Also, I was watching 50.90, this area pre-market low for a bounce. In fact, I was watching this entire area, and hopefully someone took this trade. I was, by the time I got down to here, I was thinking about reversing, but I had a good day. I didn't want to give back any profits or any, decent green week, so I decided to call it quits. But my level worked again, 50.90. So what I would have done on that, on the order flow, I'll just move that chart back over here. So on this order flow chart, when it came down to this area, I would have seen that 1600 worth of orders trigger, and then that would have been the low, the free market's just below, and I would have got a entry on the next candle coming up. Maybe could have used a break off that 5 minute candle, but as soon as I see that, and then I see lots of heavy orders in between, then that's my confirmation to go. Hourly levels, limit orders, and there was a bit of absorption down here as well, and that's at 50.98. So maybe the break of that candle would have been the safer option, but I would want to get in as close as I could to the bottom with my stop really tight probably at the pre-market low. So if I did stop out, it would have been a very small, not even a quarter of an R stop, but the perfect entry would have been the break of that candle. That's it really. Decent day, decent week, and I'm just doing a bit of NinjaTrader programming now. I'm just enhancing a few indicators I've built recently, and one of them is this level 2 indicator. I've added a few extra things to it. Basically, I have it on my screen, and it just shows me where the big orders are, and I've made extra big, large orders stand up with this little asterisk. So anything over 200, it tells me about, because then I can see if I'm trading and I'm looking for an out. Like earlier on today, I was coming down there, I saw that there's some big orders down here, so that's where I got out. So 51.20, apparently there's we've got 258 orders sitting on there, limit orders sitting there for potential rejection. That would have been a lower high if we ever get back up there. 5100, but the biggest ones are really interesting is these ones with the asterisks. So 50.22, not even on this chart, so right all the way down here. So there's no big orders really. There's a few medium-sized orders. 5100, which you expect, it's a psychological number, and then 50.92, so just the low of the day, that area there, and you've got another 200% orders, so you could see bounces in those places. But it's good to know where the big orders are. These are not really big, but the 500s and above are the big orders. So if we sell off today and get all the way down to 50.22, we've got 500 orders there, and you can see a bit of a reaction in that area. That's it. Decent day. Kind of disappointed that I did average in a bit too much here and stopped out, but I was trying to find the top. I work on that side, and obviously today it didn't need to hold a runner. I did wonder whether I should have held a runner, especially when I saw it come back down a bit further, but the confirmation was on that footprint chart I just showed you, with the limit orders coming in on the bid, and that's my confirmation to get out of that trade. So yeah, didn't really do too much wrong. I probably could have done better up here. Probably could have tightened my entry up a little bit more and maybe found the top better, but it's just part of reading. If I had a decent stop loss, I had a very tight stop loss, so it did stop me out a few times, but that was the area I was targeting. You can see it's quite a big area of volume as well. This is a volume profile on the left hand side. So hopefully you had a good day, and I will be back on Monday, back to a full week next week. Monday I'll be here at 9 AM Eastern Time or 2 PM in the UK, where I'll go through my pre-market video, pre-market checklist, pre-market levels, and hopefully pick up another couple good trades like this one. Hopefully someone took this trade. It would have been a perfect entry and VWAP as your exit, or if you're still holding, you can hold it for the high of the day. But who knows where it's going to go. Anyway, have a good weekend.